I've always loved playing video games, and once summer break started, I found myself playing way too much. I wanted to do something productive and actually achieve something during my summer break. Then, after watching the new Backrooms movie with my friends, I got inspired to create my very own Backrooms game. Before I actually started the game, I needed to know which engine to use, and since I made all of my previous projects in Unity, I wanted to try something completely new. The problem was that I've never touched Unreal before, and I also heard from other game devs that it's pretty hard. Nevertheless, I got onto YouTube and watched a complete Unreal tutorial which included making a cube, moving a cube, rotating a cube, and scaling a cube. Yeah, that's all I can do for now. The weirdest thing about Unreal was the way you program things. You see, in Unity you program with C# and use complex commands to program your entire game. This is for example just a simple script to launch a player into the air in Unity. In Unreal, this is completely different. You work with those blocks called blueprints. It reminds me of Scratch, which we used in school to learn programming. Using those nodes can actually be much simpler sometimes. This is for example a simple blueprint script that launches the player into the air. It has the same functionality as the one in C#, but it's way simpler and way more organized. I made some test projects to get to know Unreal better, and after I felt kinda confident and familiar with the basics of the engine, I started on the actual game. I opened the project and the first thing I wanted to do was a map. You gotta know that I'm probably the worst 3D modeler out there. So making models wasn't an option for me, especially when I wanted my game to look realistic. So I went onto a website called Fab where you can legally steal some 3D models. I bought some assets and then I imported them into Unreal to make my first Backrooms map, and I was actually surprised how good it looked. I did have some problems with the lighting though. But after learning about spotlights, lumen and a bunch of other shit, I eventually got it looking pretty good. I really liked the part of building the map, because you could just put anything anywhere and it would make sense, cause it's a Backrooms and Backrooms got hanging chairs everywhere. Probably, yeah. After the fun map making part, I got working on the player. So I got out of Fab again and got myself a nice looking model. And after some programming, we got a working player. The running felt very slow though, and when you're running away from a monster, you want to feel fast and not slow like a turtle. That's why I added the anime run effect from Naruto on the side of the screen, so you feel the speed a little bit more. Until this part, development in Unreal wasn't even that hard as I expected. So I made my life 10 times more horrible and tried to add Steam multiplayer into my game. I've got some experience with multiplayer in Unity, and every time I try to make a working multiplayer game, I just wanted to die. But it cannot be that bad in Unreal, right? Steam multiplayer looked very easy in every tutorial, but that wasn't my experience at all. Lobbies randomly disappeared, the Steam overlay refused to cooperate, and most of the time I didn't even know whether my code was the problem or if I'm just way too stupid to understand. After 2 weeks of hard and frustrating work, I finally made my first session and my friend could join. I'm very happy that this worked and I never ever want to touch multiplayer ever again. The Backrooms game is already quite a success for me. You can walk with other players, jump with them and crouch with them. And it's all multiplayer synced. Wow. But since the Backrooms need to be scary, I got onto my favorite modeling website again and stole an entity model. Sadly, the model didn't come with any animations. But then I found a website called Mixamo, where you could just upload any character and download any animation from the Mixamo library. This was like magic for me. Until I finally imported the animation into Unreal, and the animation was just completely off center. Bruh. Making the monster actually chase players was surprisingly easy. At first it just stood there, but after learning about NavMesh and AI controllers, I created a bunch of blueprint magic and it started hunting players around the map. The monster works by scanning a specific area around itself, and when a player enters that area, the monster automatically goes into hunting mode and scares the shit out of the player. Now that the monster works too, it was time to work on the main menu, in case that somebody shits their pants and wants to leave the game. I built a simple map for the menu, just like in the actual level, and since I already made a map, making this one was a lot easier. After that I added some buttons and learned a lot about Unreal's UI system. It was actually way easier than I expected. The UI doesn't look that good, but it works for now and I'm quite happy that I made it all myself. I also wanted the menu to feel more alive, and while looking at other games for inspiration, I noticed that a lot of main menus have a subtle camera movement. It's usually just a small looping animation that slowly rotates the camera. so I decided to add that effect to my game as well. In the end, I made a little escape system, where whenever a player touches a specific area, they escape out of the level and wait for other players to escape as well to get to the next level. Since I don't have a next level yet, there's just a black screen. The next level I will program will probably be the pool rooms. The pool rooms is a big area of pools with slides and walls. Yeah, it's just a very big swimming area. I've got some ideas for an entity walking around in the pool rooms, which I don't want to spoiler now. I also want to add more events and a bigger map to level 0, because I feel some magic is still missing there. With that, I'm pretty happy for my first Unreal project, and I'm planning on making more devlogs and more levels. So if you want to stay updated about the game, hit that subscribe button and join my Discord down below.